what it looks like, etc.
To just know how to do it has been such a blessing. And I want to say thank you, guys.
I was struggling to define my niche and connect with the right audience. But once I took this challenge, I had a breakthrough.
The how for me was clincher. This is where to go to look, this is what it looks like, etc.
To just know how to do it has been such a blessing. And I want to say thank you, guys.
So far, honestly, is realizing that all of the materials have been provided to me through life. And it's just a matter of repackaging, reframing how I use those raw materials to speak to an audience that's already looking for me that I had no clue was there.
Something that's always hindered me is I got to make it look perfect, because that's how I've always looked at my life. Like I have to prove something to somebody, when really I was trying to prove it to myself. And what I realized in this training is that God's already equipped me with everything I got.
I am inspired and I am motivated to do what I can do to create a niche in ministry that allow me to take my gifts and likewise be a little bit more open to utilizing those skills and gifts in audiences that can impact the kingdom.
Pierre, what's going on this morning, man? How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling really good this morning. Really good this morning.
Yeah, man. Listen, I think we're both gearing up for something, and you might be just as excited as I am for what we're gearing up for. And so if you don't know what it is, we're going to tell you about it today, but we're glad that we're on here. If you're watching this on the replay, drop in the chat just where you're watching this from. If you're watching this live, do the same. Drop in the chat where you're watching this from. We want to shout you out just so that we know the places and the spaces that this video has gotten to. And we believe that you're going to get so much value from this that you're going to want to share this with someone else. So do us a favor, do someone else a favor, and hit the share button so that they can experience what we're going to be talking about today. Pierre, this whole week, we're talking about 5 reasons why people's expertise is not paying them like it should. And this is a topic to me that is one that is very relevant. It's relevant for faith-driven individuals who I believe have more expertise than they give themselves credit for. But I think it's even more relevant in the climate and the times that we live in, when more people are not feeling fulfilled in their work, not feeling compensated enough in their work, not feeling that they're even challenged enough in their work. And they're saying, I'm sitting on so much brilliance, but this brilliance is not paying me. This brilliance isn't opening the doors for me. And this brilliance is not even appreciated by the people who I work with and work for. I don't know. What is your experience when you talk to people, even in your own life? Do you feel that have you ever felt that tug that, man, I have expertise, but it's not paying off like it should?
Yeah, I think for me, it's both coaching people through our programs and our sessions, and also my personal experience, when you realize there's a lot more in this briefcase that I've been sharing with the world, or the place and space that I'm in doesn't allow me to fully open up the briefcase or the backpack or the box and display the full picture of my giftedness and training in the spot that I'm in, and living through that tension. I've talked to a lot of people who are struggling with that very same tension.
Yeah. I want to say a special welcome to our IG family. I just hit live on IG, so if y'all just came on in the conversation, glad that you're a part of this conversation. Pierre, it's so interesting. I think if you stay in that space long enough, the space of not feeling appreciated, not feeling that your gifts, your abilities, your expertise is valued, what I think can happen for some of us is we ourselves can start losing the confidence. We can start losing just, there's the doubt starts to creep in. Like, do I really have something? If no one around me is seeing it, if it's not opening the doors, if it's not paying me like it should, maybe I don't really have anything. And that's what we don't want for you. So if you're watching this live, we want you to, first of all, understand we are saying this loud and clear. You have expertise. You bring something to the table. What you have is valuable, and what you have is also needed. That's a word I want you to understand. It's not just valuable, it's needed. It's needed by people who you may have never met before, whose faces that you've never seen, but they are sitting in places wondering, I need someone to help me with the exact thing that you know how to.
Man, there's this story. You know the stories you find on the internet. You know if it's true or not, but it makes a good preacher story. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way. The story of how they train elephants to not run away. And the idea is that when an elephant is really, really young and they're moving elephants from place to place, they tie the elephant to a really, really strong tree.
Yes.
So no matter how much the elephant tries, the baby elephant tries, it can't get away from the tree. And what that does is it creates a barrier in the elephant's mind that this tree will forever be stronger than I am. So as the elephant grows and becomes increasing exponentially bigger, the capacity of a tree to stop the elephant is diminished. But because the mind has been programmed that if I try to get away from this tree, it's going to keep me back. They get to the point now in the story where they don't even really tie the rope around the tree anymore. They just sort of lay it around the
Uh-huh.
tree because it has already done the programming from a very, very early age. And we're at the space when we work with people. We're working you through pushing over the tree and getting your freedom and your release so you can share your gifts with the world.
You just make such a good point. The people we work with, Pierre, they got it, right? If you happen upon this live on my page or Pierre's page or just on someone else's page who shared this, we want you to know you got it. The biggest obstacle for a lot of us when we work with people is just helping them to believe that they got it, right? Like helping you to realize, yeah, I do have something and I need to begin moving with it. Maybe there'll be fear, maybe there'll be doubt, maybe there's all of that stuff, but let's keep moving. And so yesterday we talked about reason number one why your expertise isn't paying off, and we said it's because you haven't clearly defined what your expertise actually is. For some of us, we know we have something, we don't know what that thing is. And so we gave some tips yesterday. If you did not watch it, go back and watch it on YouTube or on Facebook. We talked about looking at
Hmm.
what challenges you've overcome, right? So sometimes your own challenges you've overcome can be great windows into, hey, this is a challenge that I want to now help someone else overcome. Look at also the things that pull at your heart. So you see other people with that challenge, you see other people with that struggle. And as you're watching and you're seeing those people with those struggles, there's something about you that says, I want to help solve that. Maybe you didn't go through it, but you
Hmm.
see it so much and it just you can't let it go. And then the third one we said is here's how you find the problem that you need to solve is you look at what people are already asking you for help with. They keep coming to you and calling you and reaching out to you and inviting you. Hey, I need
Hmm.
help with this. And Pierre, you put the comment yesterday. If more than two people ask you for help, or you said more than three people, that should let you know something. I don't know if you want to say something more on that.
Yeah, I got that from a podcast interview that I heard many, many years ago from Michael Hyatt and Dan Miller. And they were talking about how to make money from your platform. And Dan Miller said on the podcast, if more than three people, if you get the same question from three or more people, that's an indicator that you should probably make a product.
Yeah.
You should probably create an ebook or a video course or a training, because if three plus people are having the same question, there's probably dozens, hundreds, or even thousands more people out there with a very similar question. And you can't reach all of them one on one. So build something, package your expertise in a way so that it can get to more people. And I think for us, man, we struggle with one, embracing the reality of what our expertise actually is. Because
Mm-hmm.
there's a tension sometimes. Well, the thing that people ask me for over and over and over again, either I consider it not to be a big deal,
Mm-hmm.
or I want to be known for something else, or I
Ooh.
want to do. I love what Kamon's doing with entrepreneurs and coaching entrepreneurs, and I want to coach entrepreneurs, even though every time I make pound cake, people ask me for my pound cake recipe,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be the pound cake YouTuber. I want to be the entrepreneur coach.
Oh, that's so good. Listen, I want to give a shout out. Doriel is over watching us on Instagram. She gave she's put a message in the chat over there. So shout out to you. And if you're watching this on Facebook, watching this on YouTube, watching this on Instagram, just go ahead and put a comment in there. Let us know where you're watching this from. Just go ahead and say hi. I've seen a few of you on YouTube. Say hi. Ooh, well, here comes Mark McDonald. And boy, I can't read this. Challenges you've overcome. One, to what pulls on your heart. 3, look what people are already asking you for help with. If more than 3 people ask you for help, that is an indicator that you should make a product, ebook, or training. And Mark, my eyes, I can't see it all that good. So what you wrote was better than how I read it. But Pierre and Mark, you kind of led us into what we're actually
Yeah.
going to talk about today, which is reason number 2 why my expertise isn't paying off like it should is it isn't packaged yet. It
Mhm.
isn't packaged yet. And we're going to talk about packaging today. You want to lean into this conversation. You want to share this conversation with someone because packaging is probably the missing piece for that person. Maybe for you, if you know I've helped so many people, I'm doing all of this work, but I
Mhm.
have not gotten paid for it. Now, you have your job, and maybe as a person of faith, you're working in your local church in ministry, or you are professionally working in ministry. But
Yeah.
what we know about you is you've been mentoring people, right? And you've been giving people guidance. We call it maybe teaching or discipleship. And you're seeing the same groups or the same types of people coming to you over and over, asking you for help. You're being called on to do the same thing over and over,
Mhm.
but you're not, the money isn't, matching up with the value you're adding. And that challenge for you might be it's not packaged. So let's kind of define what we mean by packaging. Pierre, give me your definition, and I'll give mine. When you hear packaging your expertise, what comes to your mind?
First thing that comes to mind is, how do I clearly explain what I offer?
Yes.
How do I clearly explain unequivocally what I offer? And this is so important because you know that phrase, man, you can't judge a book by its cover. Man, that's false. We both travel a lot, and we go to the store in the airport, the
Yes.
bookstore, whatever the store is that sells the stuff. And everybody, even in 2026, they're still looking at books. And what's the first thing you do when you pick up the book? You look at the front cover, you look at the back cover, you look at the inside flap.
Yep.
So we're judging, we're making a judgment, we're making an analysis of how valuable something is based on how it's presented to us. So if you have the best, and we were talking about pound cake before, if you have the best pound cake in the world, but the presentation, the plate that you put it on, and how you explain to people why they should try your pound cake isn't solid, then it's never going to get to the place where you're attracting the customers that you need to attract, because you haven't clearly articulated the value and you haven't presented it in a way that is attractive.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Man, you have to stop using pound cake references. I'm trying to get on a better healthy diet. Okay, so
You're right.
Let's find something else.
Yeah.
For packaging, and I think this is important for someone. If you can help, so yesterday, go back to what we talked about. I can help a particular person with a particular problem. The question that they are going to ask you is, what can I pay you to do for me? How can I pay you to
Mhm.
give me the result that I'm looking for? Because if they have a problem, they are looking for a solution. If they have a challenge, they are looking for a resolution to that. They are looking for transformation. And so packaging is, what is the method that you're going to use to help them achieve that transformation that they can now pay you for that? It's like you have
Yeah.
this thing here, but what is the container that you've put it in that now people can see it and say, yes, I want to pay for that? And we want to kind of walk you through what's some ways that we've seen people with expertise-based businesses packaging,
Yeah.
right? And there's some. Of course, what we're going to share with you is not exhaustive. So we're just going to say that because someone is going to think, well, I've seen people do this, and absolutely, there's going to be so many different ways. But what we're going to share with you are the 3 main ways that we've seen people with expertise. That is,
Mhm.
you know something that other people want to know. You know something that can help others. The 3 main ways we've seen people take that expertise and package it so they can be paid for it and people can receive transformation from it.
Man, we could talk about a healthy cuisine. We could put a healthy
Yes.
cuisine in there, and sort of to bring these two together. So we talked about how it's presented, and then the methodology or the framework for delivery. And when you go into a store now and you say you're looking to pick up a healthy entree for dinner, your eye is captured by how it looks, the fonts, the colors, the shape of the box. And then you're also hooked by the instructions. So it could look good. The box could look good, but then when you flip it over and you look at the methodology for preparation or the methodology for getting to the outcome, healthy meal on the table, if that's not clear, if it's a bit too cumbersome, if you haven't guided the potential client through how we're going to get to this outcome and it's not clearly articulated on the box, I've seen people put it back on the shelf and go to another option that either they're more familiar with or they feel like has a clear set of instructions to get them to the outcome. So it's not just the presentation and the clear articulation of how you present what you offer. It is your framework clear enough so that people can envision themselves experiencing the transformation that you promise?
That word framework right there. We're going to get into framework some more. In fact, let me do this. Before we tell you the three main ways that folks with expertise can package what they have so they can more, achieve more income and impact. I want to tell you that we are actually, Pierre and I, along with two other individuals, Athena Shack, Dr. Myron Edmonds, are joining together to host the Monetize Your Ministry Challenge. It starts this coming Sunday, and we'll be going until Thursday. So you have 5 days with us. And what a challenge is actually training and coaching together. You get a chance to be taught by us on the things that we're talking about today in a deeper level. And then you have a chance, once you sign up for the VIP, to spend a second hour asking questions about your particular business, your particular expertise, whatever it is that you're working on, and actually asking us what we did. So that's the shortcut, right? You don't have to make all the mistakes we made. And some of the things that took us years to learn, you can learn it in 5 days inside of the challenge. So it's there. The website is monetizeyourministrychallenge.com. It's a lot of words, but I believe in you. You can do this. Monetize Your Ministry Challenge. And can someone just put it in the link in the chat so it can be clickable? Monetizeyourministrychallenge.com. Go there and sign up and spend 5 days with us. And this is what actually we'll be going into in the challenge, the three main ways that we've seen people monetize. So Pierre, I'll start off with this first one here, which is coaching. If you have expertise, here is what I already know about you. You are coaching people.
Yeah.
I may not know your name. You might be watching me on a platform and we may have never met, but if you have expertise, which means you have knowledge, people have asked you this question before. Hey, can I pick your brain real quick on this? Hey, someone told me you're the go-to person to get my resume to look the right way. Can I pick your brain on how to do my resume? Hey, I know you're good at preparing healthy meals. Can I pick your brain real quick on how to meal prep for my family? Hey, I heard you're really good at helping couples who are dealing with this struggle. Can I pick your brain? And let me tell you, you might call it teaching, you may call it discipleship, you may call it mentoring. What you've done is you've coached that person, you've coached that couple, you've coached those individuals, you've given them access to the most valuable real estate that you have, which is your brain. And you've allowed them to experience a level of transformation, because in coaching, you are the shortcut between where they are and where they want to be. Coaching is, in terms of packaging, the way you package that expertise, that framework, that knowledge in the way that provides the most depth. So for the people who work with you, you're allowing them to achieve a deeper level of transformation. And so if you have expertise, what might be missing isn't that you don't know how to coach. You may not know how to package what you have into an offer that says, here's my coaching package, here's what it costs, here's my framework, right? Pierre used that word framework, and here's the result at the end of it. And so that's one of the first way that we can package our expertise so that we can be paid and achieve transformation for others.
Man, let me throw this question at you, because we get this a lot for people who come from a ministry background or faith-based space as it relates to considering coaching options. Like, this is how would you coach somebody who says, that's just what I give away, that's just how I help people, or the famous one, that's my ministry, and I can't see myself maybe charging someone for something that I consider to be my ministry. People call me all the time. I'll spend hours with them. I'll spend days with them. I'll talk to them over the course of the weekend. And that's just what I feel like I'm called to do.
Yeah, such a good question. And let me tell you, anyone who asked that question, I know it's coming from a good place. So there's no, what I know about you, if you ask that question, is you want to help people. That is your heart. And so if that's the genesis of that question, what I want to just allow you to see is charging people actually allows you to help them at an even deeper level. Because once someone is invested in their own transformation, invested in their own growth, they will show up better, they will put it into practice more, and they will achieve more results. Now, I know you want them to achieve results, but let's just have a private conversation. How many people have you given free advice, free guidance, free mentorship, and they frustrated you because they didn't take action on it? They didn't take action. And the next time you're talking with them, it's almost like you didn't have the last conversation with them. You told them to do whatever particular health thing, and they didn't do it. And all they do is they come with excuse. I'm so sorry. Well, if you really want to help them, put a price tag on your coaching with a definite beginning and end and an outcome, and watch that person show up better than they were showing up when it was free. That's number one. That's number one. Number two is you as a person, you're able to do more of it because you're charging for it, because you might be doing so many other things in order to make your ends meet at home. But if you're paid for it, you're able to give more of your time, help more people, achieve more results. And lastly, if you don't, at some point you're going to burn out. I just know you're going to burn out because
that's so true.
You are stretched too thin, doing too much for too many people, and then no one will receive the help that you want to give to others. And so those are my three reasons why I say it's beneficial to people when you charge them, and it's beneficial to you and the long-term life of that ministry.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I know a lot of us know that burnout story from helping so many people that call us for advice and they don't take action on it. Or the other part, they take action on it, they do really well, and they don't even say anything to us.
Well, let me tell you this. Okay. This is, you just triggered something when you said that. There's some people I have coached for free, Pierre, and then because I did not make them an offer, later on they come back and they are so happy to tell me, I paid someone else to do the work, and I'm like, whoa, wait. So you would have been willing to pay? I just was not willing to give you an offer.
I didn't package it for you.
Woo. Okay. All right.
Yep.
I gotta work that out.
Come on back. Eat some pound cake. Eat some pound cake.
Yeah. I'll leave. So the first method we talk about in terms of packaging your expertise is coaching. Pierre, the next one, I'm going to set you up for this, is speaking. We said coaching provides depth, but I believe speaking allows you to have a wide impact at one time. So talk about this, because this is your wheelhouse. How is packaging your expertise into speaking? How does that work?
So the connection between the two is I actually only started coaching because I was speaking. And I know when we talk about the ecosystem and the Monetize Your Ministry ecosystem, speaking, writing, coaching, it's an overlay. They all connect to each other, and you can enter the ecosystem in any way. For me, I started with speaking, and speaking led to the opportunities to coach. And because of that, I had to develop an actual framework for coaching. What I love about speaking is that in many cases, it's one to many. It's one to many. And this group, it could be 15 in a room, it could be 200 in a room, it could be 5,000 in a room. For 45 minutes, for an hour, for 90 minutes, they're hearing your framework. They're hearing your stories. They're hearing your experiences of transformation. And it's a way for a group of people to be deeply connected with how you think, how you work, and the transformation that you have helped to create in the lives of other people. The crazy thing about the speaking journey is that it takes less to start a speaking journey or speaking ministry than you think. And from being out in the industry for so many years, I will tell you, and this is no shade, I will tell you, there are people who are less gifted, who are less qualified, who are less articulate, who have less expertise than you, who are out there sharing with the world their experiences from a large platform, on a stage, on a podcast, in workshops, in small groups. They are doing it and they're making a living from doing it because they're not scared to talk about what they know. They're not scared to tell different groups of people about their journey, about their expertise, and teach them something new. And I believe it may seem like the speaking market in the world is saturated and overwhelmed, but the truth is there is a cry. There's a desperate demand for people who have quality excellence and insight, and that can put that in a way that can captivate someone's mind and capture their attention for 30 to 45 minutes.
Absolutely. And I know this quote. It said, "There's not a shortage of good workers. There's just a shortage of good training." So as long as there's a workforce, as long as people need development, there will be a need for speakers, there'll be a need for trainers, there'll be a need for facilitators. Pierre, someone is here and they're thinking, well, I'm not a speaker. I
Yeah.
teach a group of people, right? And maybe in their work, they're doing trainings for people and workshops. Maybe in their church life as a person of faith, they have been teaching a group. Maybe they're teaching a class on the weekends. Maybe they're speaking, right?
Yeah.
How can the things that we are doing in one area translate now to other areas?
I think that goes back to the point that we made before about the packaging. Right? There are a couple of things in play. The first thing in play is that quite often the skills and experiences that we've cultivated in one area, whole elephant in the tree thing, we have minimized it in that area because in many cases, the container in which we display that gift, talent, ability, and skill is so big. I'm a teacher. I teach sixth grade. Maybe that's your story. You teach sixth grade, sixth grade English. And for the past 5 or 6 years, you have been giving your students the finer points of what makes a compelling story, how to write an essay, how to articulate their thoughts, how to communicate clearly and effectively. And you've been doing that for 5 or 6 years. Well, in education, how do we reward teachers? We'll give them an Apple of Excellence Award. Well, Teacher of the Week, Teacher of the Year.
Special parking spot.
You're not going to get a promotion. You're not going to get a raise. You're, in many cases, not going to get an opportunity to teach more students outside of the cohort of students in your sixth grade class a few times a year. What would it look like if those same skills on how to write clearly, how to speak effectively, how to frame your thoughts into a story that captures the attention of other people, what would it look like for you to take that into other places where people need the same skills you have been teaching your sixth graders for the past 5 or 6 years? Now, the cool thing about this is when we say speaking is really an umbrella term. We're not just talking about main stage keynote with 10,000 people in the room. That would be cool. And for some of us, that's exponentially frightening. Speaking takes place in a myriad of places. Small training classrooms, webinars. It can take place in breakout sessions at conferences that you have been a part of. Your speaking could be your cohort of people who are actually in your coaching program. And you are speaking to them every single week and teaching them through your framework. So speaking takes place on large stages, big platforms. It also takes place in small rooms, and you can bring your expertise and from one industry, and it's deeply compelling when you show me how, as an engineer, as a doctor, as a lawyer, I can leverage insights from sixth grade English that can transform myself and from my business. And it can take place in just about any environment.
I love that. And listen, this is what the opportunity we get to do inside of these challenges and inside of our masterminds, to see people take their relevant experience and move it into other lanes. And so really, that's one of the reasons where we're encouraging you to sign up for this challenge, because you may not know the value of the thing that you do every day, what it can do for you in a different environment, in a different context, and that people are looking for it. So we've talked about coaching as a way of packaging for depth of transformation. We talked about speaking for width. So you, as you mentioned, you can impact a wide number of people, wide range of people at the same time, right? Like both of us are preachers, Pierre, and there is something about standing up there in front of an audience and proclaiming and saying, man, a lot of people are being transformed at the same time. So that's width. But the last one we're going to share with you today is this: writing. And I remember, let me tell you where this kind of came. I was doing their writing challenge with Athena Shack, who is a publisher. Athena has helped hundreds of individuals to publish books.
Yeah, good work.
Coach them now. And when we were doing our challenge, I asked yourself, Myron, and Athena to do a video. And I realized all of us were doing coach, author, speaker, coach, author, speaker. But what we recognize is that the books that we wrote allowed something to happen that the writing and the speaking didn't. It allowed us to have a salesperson that was selling when we were sleeping, right? Because someone's reading your book and they are saying, I want to bring this person in to speak. I want to be coached by this person. But then we also understand that a book that I wrote back in 2017 is still being bought now. Pierre, you wrote books back in when? People are still buying them. So writing allows you to have length of transformation, that it will last long after you stop talking about this. And, you know, we don't want to think about it, but it lasts long after you're even here on the scene. So talk about writing.
So I'm looking at my book, right? 2015. I wrote this book, first printing of this book.
So you could show people. Yeah.
I wrote this book in 2015, Leading Wild Green, 2015. It's hard to believe, come on, that 11 years ago. Here's the crazy thing about this book, and I really wish I had the insight into the community that you provide 11 years ago, and really how to put a book together and how to navigate the publishing landscape. The crazy thing about this, man, I still get an email from Amazon every single month that at least one person has bought a copy of my book. And it's been like that since 2015. Long after I wrote it, long after I even forgot what I put in it all those years ago, there are still people who are finding value in what I wrote, value in the idea. And that's one of the things about writing a book, that it lasts for a really, really long time. And it can go places. Writing a book, capturing your framework, your expertise, and your experience can go to places you can't physically go as a speaker, and it can connect with people that you can't physically connect with as a coach, even one-to-one or one-to-many. A book, in a lot of some of the marketing materials that I've read, marketing materials, they say a book, begin to think of your book as a $2 to $3 business card.
Yep.
A $2 to $3 introduction to what you offer, to your insight. And it can go so many more places. And as you said, I'm reading books from authors who have long since passed away, but their advice and perspective I'm still finding resonance with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, someone might say, I'm not that good a writer. I'm glad you said that, because I've read your mind. Well, the good thing is Athena is going to talk to you in the challenge about how to take the things that you've been saying, the things that you've been speaking about, even the ideas that are just in your mind, how to find creative ways to get it out and get it written without you having to do the laborious work of writing. And so we're going to talk about all of that inside the challenge. Now, before I say the next thing, if you're on this watching live or watching on replay, just put in the chat which one of these resonates most with you. Now, we're going to tell you all of them you should be doing if you're building an expertise-based business.
Absolutely.
But maybe there's one that you lean into more than the other. So just put yours in the chat, whether it's coaching, whether it's writing, whether it's speaking. We want to know which one resonates with you, whether you're watching this live or on replay. Coaching, speaking, writing. Which one resonates with you most? Pierre, I'm going to put you in the spot. What's yours? I think we know the answer to that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy for me to say speaking, right? It's easy for me to say that. That's the section of the module that I work with the most. And coaching, man.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. You probably thought I was going to say speaking, but I can definitely see coaching when we sit in those rooms, when we're on those calls doing our
Yeah.
challenge, and we get into lab time. Man, you take those glasses off. I was like, this guy's in his element. This is the training part of it. You'll enjoy that. You're great at that. But when you get into that lab part, man,
Yeah.
that's a different Pierre. It's you come fully alive as well. So yeah, I definitely see that for you. I think for me, this is probably mine's is coaching. I
Mhm.
really enjoy walking with people through their transformation and their
Yeah.
aha moments, right? Like one of the things when we start the challenge on Sunday, the people who sign up for the challenge are not the people who will end the challenge on Thursday. You
Every
will
single time.
see their videos are much more expressive. The clarity of what they're saying is so much sharper. Latoya Lawrence says coaching and writing. So
Mhm.
Latoya, you are with us over here, and I see some folks are joining us. Listen, it is definitely an ecosystem, and there may be some that in different seasons, right,
Yep.
that you may lean into more than others. But here is what we want to help you understand. What we're going to work with you on is I'll call it the shortcut to see how make you get your framework, and then how do you now frame it in different ways, package it, sorry, in different ways for coaching, speaking, and writing, so you're not doing three times the work. You're doing the same work, just in different formats. And so that's
That's
what
so
we want you
good.
to see. That's what we want you to see. So I need somebody on Instagram. Do me a favor, just type it in the chat. The link for the challenge is www. Well, you don't need www. You just need monetizeyourministrychallenge.com. Monetizeyourministrychallenge.com. Pierre will be on there. Athena Shack will be on there. Dr. Myron Edmonds will be on there. In fact, let me just go ahead and throw this graphic up there so you could see our faces and you can know that who the people are going to be here. So 5 days, March 22nd to the 26th, we're going to be covering those three areas that we talked about there for packaging: speaking, coaching, writing. And don't feel like, well, I'm going to skip a day. No, you don't want to skip any days. Like, they're all connected. They're all working. Thank you, Mark, for putting the link over there. So they're all working together.
Yeah.
And it's $49 is the VIP, which allows you the chance to get the full 2 hours, to get the replay for 7 days, and you get a chance to really get coached by us during this process. So, Pierre, I want to just wrap up by you just telling somebody who is on the fence about taking this challenge. They've been looking at that page a few times.
Mhm.
They're thinking, do I have 5 days? Do I have $49? Do I have what it takes? What would you say to them as to why they should sign up for this journey with us?
The first thing is the price is a no-brainer. For $49, you get world-class teaching, world-class coaching, and if scheduling is a problem, you have access to the replay. So we're gonna that excuse is gone. 2, you get access to a community of people who have not only done it, but people who are doing it in real time. And there's always something special about our communities and our cohorts that we develop. Being inside of it is transformative in and of itself. The third thing is you've been waiting for a nudge for a very, very long time. You've been waiting for something that comes along and fits your style, your personality, your behavioral preference. And you're watching this video at just the right time. And here's what I can promise you. I can promise you, you will get out of this experience 10 times more than what you put in. You will get out of this experience 10 times more than what you put in. And we have the students, the leaders that have gone through our program who have said, this has not just changed their lives, it's changed the lives of the people around them. And we want you to be able to join in that testimonial as well. So sign up for the challenge. The price is right. The time is right. The community is right. You need to get right with it.
Let's go. Let's go. So listen, y'all. Mark said it in the chat here. Mark said, I'm already signed up. He said, I will be there. Mark will be there. I'll be there. Pierre will be there. Athena, Myron, join the other group. And listen, as you said, that community, there's none like it. There is none like it. The support, the encouragement, the feedback you're going to get. You don't need to try to build the business on your own. You don't need to try to build what you have on your own. Come along, get this coaching, get this community, and let's help you take that expertise, get it packaged, get out there into the world. All right, y'all. Peace.